Welcome to the Coach Speak podcast, built for coaches, by coaches, hosted by Jamie Bolton and Dustin Martin. Sponsored by Ray Crowther, providing the nation's best athletic training equipment since 1932. And R4 Football Systems. Accelerate everything by decoding the game.
Hey guys, welcome back to Coach Speak. Dustin Martin here with Jamie Bolton. Have a special guest tonight, Coach Perry Parks. Jamie's going to get into what we're going to get into tonight, but before we do, I want to shout out to our sponsors, Team Builder and Tsunami Bar Sports.
Hey guys, today on Coach Speak podcast, we are joined by a coach that's truly seen the game from every level. Our guest is Coach Perry Parks, the head football coach at River Bluff High School right here in South Carolina. Coach Parks' journey is a rare one. He's coached high school football as a position coach, a coordinator, a head coach, made the jump to college level as an assistant at UNCC and Coastal, and even spent some time in the NFL as a wide receivers coach. In this episode, we dive into what's actually different, what's surprisingly similar between high school and college football. But Coach, man, thank you for being on.
Man, I appreciate the invitation, man, and it's pleasant to be able to talk some ball with some good coaches over Christmas break, man, for sure.
Awesome. Well, Coach, you've coached at every level, high school, college, and NFL. When people hear that, what's the first misconception they usually have? What do they think about those things, you think?
I mean, that ball is different, man. Like, football is a universal language. And through my 3 weeks with the Rams and that internship, like sitting beside Sean McVay, hearing him talk ball, is some of the same conversations we have in my staff meetings at River Bluff, and especially on the college level. So you see it and you kind of get starstruck, or you kind of like say, man, that couldn't be me, or I can't do that. And at the end of the day, football is football, man. It's all about relationships, communication, and being able to convict what you're trying to do to a larger scale and get people to buy in. That's all the game's about.
Yeah, no, and it's funny because, like, me and Spencer have talked about this before. You know, you'll watch the NFL on defense, and one down, they have like 9 people on the line and running some crazy sim. And the very next down, it's straight 4-4 spot drop cover 3, showing it, no disguise. And it's like, it's just crazy how one moment you're like, man, I could play quarterback against that. And the next moment you're like, dude, I don't even know what they're doing. So that's crazy. What I'm interested in is, Coach, you know, back in the day, 16, 17, 18, we were at York, you were at Ridgeview. We had a lot of great games against each other. And then you left, went the college route, you know, UNCC, Coastal. Now you're back at the high school level. What do you think you have learned the most from leaving high school, but then making kind of that all the way back return to River Bluff? What have you seen at the college level that's kind of influenced your coaching back at the high school level this year?
Yeah, man. The main thing, like, especially as a young coach, I'm not a younger coach anymore. Hit 40 years old, I'm 41 now. So being a young coach, you get told no a lot. And the reason for that is experience. Like, you hear that word experience, and coaches kind of like, yeah, like, how am I going to get experience if nobody gives me opportunity? That's what we say as coaches. But having been around the block, been able to go coach at 2 universities, one that's American, they were Conference USA when I was there, and then Sun Belt, you know, you kind of see how other people work together, staffs work together, see how staffs game plan. You see how staffs coach together in crucial moments. I tell everybody, you're really not a real football coach till you're really coaching that heat, man. Like, it's something different about coaching on Saturdays, because, I mean, every game is for your job, and you know, that's a whole different animal. But being able to see that, witness it, you know, be in those rooms that I didn't have privilege to as a high school coach, definitely made me better, especially the way we game plan. I know Zeb might have talked to you a little bit about it, Dustin, but we do a lot of situational football game planning throughout the week. So our game plan is a working document, and it doesn't really get finalized till Wednesday. And that's completely different from the model that I used to do when I was a high school coach. So game planning is definitely one of them. But like I said, just situational football, like knowing how to react in certain situations and having fixes. Like, you get more fixes the longer you get in it, because you've seen more stuff that's taking place. That makes sense.
Yeah, it really does. And I think, you know, as a high school football coach and coaching at, you know, the highest levels in South Carolina, and also the very, you know, lower levels and both, you know, Carolinas, I've seen kind of good and bad when it comes to game planning. And I think what I've been able to see is the evolution of, all right, we got to get it all in on Sunday. Like, if we can't do that. And I always thought that was kind of hard to do. And then
Unrealistic.
exactly. So we started working with the R4 stuff and Dub, and so he really laid out exactly how I should try to game plan all those things, man.
Mhm.
And it totally changed. I don't feel pressure to have all my third down stuff done on Sunday or
No.
goal line stuff. Like we're only working first and second down in
Yeah.
between the 30s, and so
Yeah.
like is that something that like you guys kind of did in college? Kind of talk to. I'm really interested in how
Yeah,
you guys
yeah,
did in
yeah,
college.
and that's probably one thing my staff, like, they benefited the most, so, we'll go into Sunday and we'll look at CNN plays and drive starters, P and 10s. So CNN for us is competitive, normal, normal, competitive down, normal distance, normal situation. And in the game, we found that a true CNN situation is probably going to be about 20 plays. That is not a second and short or a third and crazy. That's just like, all right, we're on schedule. So now this one's going to be second and 6, second and 5. Or it's
Mhm.
just not a P and 10. A P and 10 is a true drive starter. We game plan for about 12 of those each week. So those are plays that can be a little bit longer if we have some type of motion, some type of misdirection. It's a longer play call. We get that on the P and 10, so we don't have to worry about signaling. It won't be a
Exactly.
bust because it's going to be from a sideline operation standpoint to get the play in the game. So Sundays for us, we want to come up with 12 great P and 10 drive starters, and then about 20 CNN plays. And that's what gets the week started. We correct all our mistakes. Hey, like here's our breakdown of what we did good. Like we can call this play with our eyes closed. Our kids are going to be execute, because if you can execute on CNN, that's what I learned. If I learned anything from college, you can execute on P and 10s and CNNs, and you can stay ahead of the sticks. Now your third down conversion rates are going to be that much more effective because you won first down. You won those
Exactly.
early downs. So a lot of high school coaches, you get caught up in, oh, this is Sunday meeting. I got to be away from the family all day. And you're in there BS and telling jokes, watching the pro game. And then at the end of the day, you're scrambling and you just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. Instead of us, it's clear cut like, hey, let's clean up this game. Let's do
Mhm.
CNN. Let's do P and 10s. And let's really see where those fall in, like, our quality control of the season. And we had success, kind of started off a
Yeah.
little bit slow. But once we got going, man, we were playing with anybody in the state, and our roster was
Yeah.
not where it's going to be in the next couple of years for sure. Put
No,
it that
I
way.
get that, man, and it's funny because like I feel like we have 3 mini game plans each week. So
Yeah.
we have like a Monday game plan, Tuesday game plan, Wednesday game plan, and
Mm-hmm.
and I try to look at 3 things game plan on the defensive side. I want to know field zone, down and
Yep.
distance situation. That's kind of how I look. Where are you at on the field? What's the down and distance? And is there a special situation involved? So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, field zone pretty much takes care of a lot of that. But like what you're saying with the CNN, it's like, okay, the only thing we're talking about on Sunday is the CNN stuff, the
Yep.
PN10 stuff. Okay,
Mhm.
who are they? So like, for example, me and Zeb know each other a little bit. So I
Mm-hmm.
knew Zeb does a really good job of trying to make sure to change the picture, because that's what PN10's
Mm-hmm.
about. It's like
Yep.
we can't, let's start with this, shift to this, do this. So it's like, you really got to be sound on everything. And it was funny because we actually talked about this, like the first 2 or 3 plays y'all called. It was like
Yep.
deuce the trip snub and some other things. I was like, oh, here we go. Like this is what it's going to be. But no, I like to hear I love like what you're talking about, what you've learned, and the way that you categorize it with the CNN
Yeah.
stuff and all of that. So, no, that's awesome. Jamie, did you have something?
Yeah, I mean, so do you guys meet? So how do you guys do that? So talk to us a little bit about,
Yeah.
okay, like Sunday stuff, then like Monday, is it a post practice? Now we're getting ready for Tuesday and
Yeah.
so forth.
Absolutely. So Sundays, we get in, we have full staff, got like a leadership committee. So we kind of talk about schedules throughout the week and all of that stuff, meals, all of the program stuff. We get that stuff out the way, discipline grades, all of that stuff. We get that stuff out the way first. And then we split offense, defense. And then offense, defense, we kind of know like, hey, this is what it is. If there are some issues, we go through grades. All of the standard stuff is in place. But when we really start watching it, we already have those cut ups built. So we have a CNN cut up. We have a PN10 cut up. We have drop starters. We had explosives, just like everybody else. Like our huddle, like I kind of had to teach all of my guys, like, hey, this is the stuff of the analysts and GAs breakdown. So during the week, this is what like your work's got to be to have that stuff done for those cut ups. Like I said, for the conversion downs, for the third down, like we'll have a third and short. All right, so our third and short in high school, our third and short and our goal line package is the same thing. Like, we're calling those same plays. Third and you got to have it. Third and short, goal line, like those are the same plays. So we're able to package those together, which actually helps us. So third and short is the only thing that we'll do with the red zone on Wednesdays. So Tuesdays is our really work day because Monday's already like preloaded to CNNs, stuff that shouldn't be new install. So Tuesdays will be our true third down conversion downs, third and long, third and medium. And we really stress the importance of, hey, like we've got to be over 66%, like 2/3. Like we've got to like stress that number and like really hit it so our kids understand conversion downs. Because high school kids, I mean, you saw it my first go round, like when people had signs and doing something like money for third down, letting them know, hey, it's third down. For high school kids back then, what was it? So you play hard. Well, now like BS on playing hard. You should play hard. Like, that should be a non-negotiable. We've got to do a better job as coaches in South Carolina. We've done a great job. I know North Carolina's right there with us as well, but we got to do a much better job of teaching conversions. Like, let's talk football. Like, that's one thing I took away from the college game and NFL game. Like, if you're able to understand the lingo and really talk that and apply it and have your kids talking and understand it, like you'll see your program multiply that much faster. So Tuesday's all about conversions. And then once again, we talk about conversions on Wednesdays when we get into the score zone, the red zone, and then the score zone inside the 15, our mindset changes again as well. And then that short yardage stuff. We talk about it too, like, hey, like we need to convert touchdowns down here instead of field goals. Now we want points 100% of the time, but when you look at those points, like they're not created equal. Like
Exactly.
one of them can double you up, you know, you can get 6 or you can get 3. So really just kind of talking to them and the importance of converting and using the terminology so we have a universal language in our program that everybody understands, from our B team coaches all the way down to our B team players, as well as our varsity guys and varsity coaches as well.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think we've gotten a lot of traction with our players this year. This is our first year at Rock Hill, and just talking through those things, talking through scenarios, and not just saying how it's important, quote unquote, but like these are a part of our goals for offensive efficiency. Like we want to be a certain percentage touchdown in the red zone. You know, we want to be a certain percentage on third down. We got to be a certain percentage on third and short and third and medium. I mean, obviously you got to be converting a lot higher. For us this year, man, I think in our first 4 games, our average third down was 3rd and 8. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, so but that we talked to our kid, we talked to our kids about that. Well, why is that, coach? Well, look at our obstruction rate. Well, our obstruction rate is we got too many negative plays and too many pre-snap penalties. So it's forcing us to get into passing situations on par downs. There's no more par downs on second down. So I love that you're saying that, and I think that's probably why you guys got better the same way we did all year.
No doubt. And they start policing it. The players police it.
Correct.
When they know and you're coaching them and you're consistent, because as high school coaches too, like I go back to the older version of myself, like we'll say something one time because we got it at a clinic or we heard it somewhere, and we won't say it again until like maybe postseason. Like if you're using that same universal language from training camp to any walkthrough to practice, and the one cool thing like I learned from the college level, like I have 3 different practice schedules. So I have a training camp practice schedule. I have a region play practice schedule, and I have a postseason. If you come watch us in the postseason, we might be on the field for an hour. Like we might be on the field for an hour. Now we're going to be in the film room for another hour to get our time back. But at that point in time, if you can't block and you can't tackle, like you need to be teaching like specific plays versus scheme in those situations. Situation technique football, like that's what wins you games in the postseason. It's not doing the same old stuff because it's mundane. And then you have a fresher ball club too. Like, I mean, high school seasons, it's long. It's long. It's not as long as some of these colleges, but it's still long for a high school kid, man. So you just got to think outside the box and find out what works for you guys, and then be able to coach it and get your coaches and players to buy in for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point. You know, if you're not changing the practice duration throughout the year, I mean, you know, when I was a head coach, I did preseason to probably about week 3 or 4 is going to be your 2-hour practices. You hit week 4, it's going down to about 1:40. You hit week 8, 9. All right, guys, if we don't know how to block, we're not going to learn in week 9. So there's no reason to do 20 minutes of Indy.
No doubt.
But, what I found out from the defense side, and it's good to kind of hear, I guess, the validation of some of the ways we do things that we've talked about on the show prior.
Yeah.
You've been at 2 different stops at the collegiate level, and you're kind of sharing how you did it at those. What the difference throughout the week, I guess, kind of from the defense standpoint, is how many formations and how many plays do you run offensively when we're going against you? Because there's some weeks where Mondays and Tuesdays, it's the same formations and plays, and we're running the different things we're going to do on defense. But sometimes we see teams where it's like, okay, on Mondays, we have to focus on all of our calls versus these formation families and these personnels. Tuesday, we got to move on. We got to go to 12 personnel on Tuesdays because they're so 50-50 between 10 and 12. We got to make sure we do a good job Monday and Tuesday. And then just kind of, I guess, moving the jigsaw puzzle around on, just because we're 10 personnel on Monday for 7-on-7 and we're going 12% on Tuesday, you can still get your 10 personnel 7-on-7 in on Tuesday, to kind of keep getting it. But that's kind of been, I guess, the last couple of years, what I've been trying to figure out is when we have teams who are lesser, they're the same personnel throughout the game, few formations, it's easy for us to split it between 2 days. But those teams that do a really good job of having different personnel packages, and Jamie on offense, for example, like I look at what they do all the time, like, good Lord, man, like if we had to, like, we really had to be on time with what we want to do, time on task. It's kind of, but it's cool to hear the way that you do it. That's awesome.
And I challenge my defensive guys with this too, man. I hired them all to coach, and like I'm a big believer in that. Like I don't try to micromanage anybody on my staff. Like if I see something that needs to be addressed, I'll address it for sure. But like I hired everybody to do a job. Like I challenged my guys. They didn't understand what a true walkthrough was when I got there defensively. Kind of standing around and kind of like just walking through like, hey guys, you can get 25% more reps by having this stuff scripted out and doing formation recognition on defense, doing run fits, doing coverage drops, showing your stunts. So like those guys got so much better on defense. Like it was really cool to see Travis Palmer become a defensive coordinator in his postseason eval. I've already shared it with him, so I shared it with you guys. I said it was really cool for me to see you develop a voice, develop better practice, for standards of what you're going to allow, what you're not going to allow, and then be more efficient with the time allotted. Like, here's the time. Like, I'm not going to tell you what I want to see. Like, if it's a day we need to do some perimeter blocking stuff instead of scale, like, I easily make that call. But, like, here's the frameworks, what you have to work with. Like, how much milk you going to get from this cow in this hour and 50-minute practice. Like, that's your job. That's not my job. My job is to make sure you work within those parameters. Your job is to make it fit. So it's really cool to see that guy become a pretty good DC, and I'm excited to see what year 2 has in store for him. But like that was the thing for us. Like defensive walkthroughs were bad the first couple weeks of preseason. I'm like, hey, like it's not just 10 minutes to waste. Like these are reps that we can be getting for our 2s, our 1s, like. And we got better and better as
and
the year went on as
sometimes
well.
in my experience, sometimes those walkthroughs on cans for 10 minutes are more beneficial than the live reps are getting ready to get in team.
No doubt.
It has, because it slows it down. They understand, we teach them. And then like the things that maybe you do, hey, we play it this way in trips. How do we handle it in empty? Well, we're going to walk through and show you if they motion to empty, motion away from empty. And I guess to your point is, that time seems more valuable sometimes than some of the live periods. You know what I'm saying?
No
like,
doubt.
they're all important, but like every single day for 5 to 7 minutes with linebackers and DBs, we were on cans every day, every practice, because that's how, like, alignment's the number one thing. So if we can't align correctly, it doesn't matter what coverage or defense we're in.
No doubt.
And Coach, would you say that is that what college does more efficiently than high school? By and large,
the walkthrough.
Yeah, or just scripting in general. I mean, do you think that's just...
We were at Charlotte. I'll never forget. This is a funny story. We had no sweat. We had no sweat Thursdays at Charlotte with Coach Healy, and he was awesome, man. Like, talk about a fun dude to be around. Just great energy, man. Always walked in the office like
Charlotte.
Like, yeah, man. He spoiled me for my first college job for sure. But that first practice, I'm like, man, no sweat. Like, like, what's this going to be like? It's definitely not when I played college football, because those walkthroughs were joke compared to like the coaching and stuff that's going on now. But my first time seeing a 100-play script for a Thursday practice, and like I kind of like paralysis by analysis. I'm like, golly, like our practice, our meeting before the the script, you always do a script review no matter what level you're on. So, I mean, those no sweat Thursdays at Charlotte, there's no way I can get through. Like, I go through a problematic, like either a bastard formation or something crazy where we're unbowed and we got two guys punching on. Like, I would go through all of that stuff, our trick plays, our gadgets, and our tempos, because like that's one thing at Charlotte with Coach Carney's offense. We were heavy tempo. We had a tempo for every one of our day one installs. So, but you couldn't go through all of it in a script review. So now you got to make sure that, I got to steal some more time. Like, hey, you guys get out of class early in college. You got to come back, Wednesday, because I'll have that script earlier. Like, let's go through the script for No Sweat Thursday. But college, it's down to a science with the walkthroughs. And they're all, what's really cool about them, depending on what staff you're with, like at Charlotte, everything was situational ball. So all of our drive starters, if it was going to be a chunk play, it was in the chunk play section, like towards the end of the game. 2 minute was all scheduled together. All of our tempos, we did them at one time, like left hash, right middle, left middle. Like we did all of those together. So the kids kind of knew, like, hey, we're in this part of the field. Like, be ready for this. Like, and it was really good because, like, that's how you play fast. Like, when you really look at really good college football, which we're seeing right now in the playoffs, like it's a well-tuned machine. And when it's done right, man, it's pretty cool. Like, a couple memories, like Charlotte when we beat Duke, like we were clicking, man, on offense for sure. Coastal, School and Boone a couple times, like we were clicking on that bowl game versus San Jose. Like, it's really cool, like, to kind of see your work. Because you work, you're working for sure, but it's cool when you see it all come together. And like, as an offensive guy, like, you're just efficient. You're efficient. Guys are making plays. They don't have to make the crazy catches, but it's just the routine plays. Everything's headed up in the run game. So, like, our base runs, like I put this in high school, and they're looking at me crazy, Coach Coom, our receivers coach, but we rule out everything. Like, our wide zone, we have blocking rules for that, to a single receiver service, a double receiver, 3-man service. Like, if you put rules to it, it eliminates the gray area. And for high school kids, they live for that gray area. Like, so we just try to eliminate it and give the guys tools they need to be able to make the play or get the job done and play fast.
So, Coach, when you're going through all those scripts and all those plays,
Mhm.
like, do y'all plan, like, okay, let's call this script or play versus the defense we haven't anticipated or we may not see, to try to test the players? Because, like, what I found this year that we got to make sure we do a better job and do more of is, hey, when we call the super dialed up pressure that we have versus this team, but they come out in this, oh boy, we either need to check back to our base call or check back. Like, how's it work in college? Do y'all take that script versus things you may have not repped as much against, or talk a little bit about that?
So it comes down to your trigger man, right? So at Charlotte, we had a dude, man. Chris Reynolds was a guy. Like, he was a really good field general. He could get us in the right play. At Coastal, we had a guy, 10, Grayson McCall. And then we got Ethan Vasco, a great player, but he had never been the guy before. So with a guy like that, you want to kind of protect them with split field calls. For us at Coastal, let's talk about like grab arrow, which is nothing more than stick to the 3 by one side, and then we got a modified slant to that single. If that backer blitzes or he chases, stay on the move. If he drops back, we're going to run like a little spot to the boundary. So now you got to read middle of field, open or close, and he's got to know, like, based off open or close, am I playing field or am I playing boundary? And that's how the college offenses are built. Same thing in LA, blew my mind. Like, I let those guys go through my notes. Everything has a can. You can hear Stafford, like you can hear Matt, like, hey, can this to that. Well, all of the can stuff is based off of internal or external pressure. So, like, let's say we have wide zone to the boundary. Hey, it's going to be can, and we'll throw a hot slant off of that, or we'll either run stretch back to the field if we feel that coming, and you hear him say, hey, can, and then they just go to the opposite play. But you have a field general that can get you in and out of those plays. We had that at Charlotte. So that's what the walkthrough is based off of. If the walkthrough is based off of like Coastal was, the plays are going to dictate themselves based off the coverage. At Charlotte, what we had for a mechanism with that, like, Chris could call whatever tempo he wanted based off what they were giving us to get us into a good play if we didn't like the original look.
Coaches, if you're looking for a way to level up your strength and conditioning program without completely overhauling what you already do, you need to check out Tsunami Bar Sports. The Tsunami Bar isn't just another specialty bar. It uses dynamic oscillating resistance to challenge stability, coordination, and force production all in one lift. What that means for your athletes is better core engagement, improved movement quality, and real world strength that actually shows up on Friday nights. We've seen it firsthand, whether you're using it for squats, presses, pulls, or even rehab based movements. The Tsunami Bar forces athletes to control the weight, not just move it. And that's huge for injury prevention and athletic development. The best part, you don't even have to reinvent your program. Plug it right into what you already do in the weight room and immediately raise the ceiling. If you want stronger, more resilient athletes and a smarter approach to training, visit tsunamibarsports.com and tell them Coach Speak sent you. Yeah, I love that. I think that helps. That helps tremendously with quarterbacks, especially at varying experience levels, right?
No doubt.
So, like for us, and I remember against you guys actually, first game, man, our backup quarterback came in and he's a really good player,
Yep.
and he was kind of fighting for the job anyway, so it wasn't like a true backup. But man, just working with him just for a few months and talking about, our progression platform and how we can kind of get in and out of plays where
Yeah.
he's kind of coming to me and saying, look, coach, if we get, some sort of trap to the field, we're going to work the backside,
Mm-hmm.
dagger concept off a flood, and something similar to you talking about 3-by-1 stick and then
Mm-hmm.
working the glance swing on the backside if he sees strong rotation.
Yep.
And I think any quarterback can do that as long as, like you said, coach, if they have rules in place and you have to
Mm-hmm.
scaffold those rules. So, you're
Yep.
out there in a cap drill and you're going through it. And then in a walkthrough, hey, they're rotating strong,
Yep.
accelerate your footwork and work back and set your hallway on the hash to hit the glant. I love those things. And he actually
Yeah.
hit a play against you guys that really told us that he was going to be a really, really good quarterback. He saw that exact scenario, it's third and
Mm-hmm.
long, and he hits a dig and we ended up having an explosive play because
Yeah.
really we couldn't do much else. We had a few explosive plays against you guys, but it was because him going through a full field progression. And
Yeah.
and you got to have that, man, no matter what
Yeah.
level you're at.
Well, it's
No
like
doubt.
also, I think kind of the difference, and you guys let me know what y'all think. Like college wise, you have quarterbacks that can check the plays, and at the
Mm-hmm.
NFL level, they can change the plays. In high school, you got to think about all that when you're building your system. So it's
No
like,
doubt.
okay, and y'all hit us on this 2 or 3 times. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to run duo, and we're going to have the
The
X3
RPO.
glance to the best kid on the
Yeah.
field, and then
Yeah.
regardless, it's like, all right, that backer triggers. Give our dude a chance. Like, if
Yeah.
they're going to be +1 in the fit, we're going to throw the ball. And if they don't
No
play
doubt.
man on him, which we were not doing, which was awful, but it's
Yeah.
like that is how it's built more in the high school. Or, hey, this week, based on this, man, we call this protection. It's an absolute no-no. You're going to get rocked. So if you don't
Yeah.
check it this way or check this protection, just know you're getting sacked, buddy. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of listening to you talk more of the can stuff
No
versus that.
doubt.
It's kind of what I'm thinking.
We teach our RPOs completely different too, man. Like those glances, those bangs. And that's for a one-on-one. Come see us and we'll give you those goodies. But it changed the way I coach because instead of telling a man like it's an area, and
Mhm.
like you talking about quarterbacks playing fast, all the dub stuff, like
Yeah.
how can he react and get the ball out? Like tell these guys to quit reading the man. Like not on every play,
Yeah.
but a lot of our glance stuff we don't read men because
Yep.
a man can lie to you.
Yep.
Like so we go
We
more
do the
based off
same thing on
grass availability.
Yep.
exactly, the route side
Yep.
space, and then
Mhm.
we do the same thing on first level reads too now. Like, we
Mhm.
use the cap I use the cap I don't even know if Dub even talks about that, but, like, we use the cap on defensive ends.
Oh
So,
yeah.
like, we do
Yep.
all the hip stuff and all that. Like, when we're
Yep.
grading out or we're talking to the quarterback, I'll try to simulate it, but that's really interesting that you said that because 'cause we're starting to do something similar on both second and first level,
Oh yeah.
run reads, and so
Yeah.
that's really neat. I mean, for me, I would love to have a guy audible. And I had a
Mhm.
quarterback a few years back that was super smart, had him for 3 years, and he always wanted to audible. I always thought there was some friction there with the rest of the team to be able to
Mhm.
get those signals. Do you guys audible if you even want
So
to share that? And then
yeah.
if so, how do you find time to really build that in and make it efficient? I'm really interested in
Yes.
that.
So our quarterback situation this year was kind of unique. Like our junior, he got cleared like right for like y'all's game. So it's kind of funky, man. But we have a great situation. We have two really really good quarterbacks. We have a freshman that's going to be a really good player. We got a junior that's a really good player. as well. So both of these guys are super smart. So we can put more on them. The easiest way to audible a play in high school is just flipping. Like
Mhm.
it's just flipping. So like for us, we go live colors or we go hand signals, and we flip that up during the week. But it's so much easier just to flip it. And like we already buzz our backs. That's our motion with our back. We
Mhm.
do that all the time. So it's not like if the back lines up on the right and we just flip them over to the left, like some people might say, oh, like you're not gonna know the difference because we do a good job mixing that up. But the easiest way to incorporate it is like just being able just to flip it like with a color or like a hand signal. And then if you go hand signal, it's hard for the offensive line to get it. That's why it's easier with a live color for us. When I was at Ridgeview, it was Oregon, just for opposite.
Mhm.
We'd be like Oregon, 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 or duck, 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 word association to flip the play that way. But we did a lot more pistol stuff this year, so you really can't get a tell on it. So now, like you say, you're just talking to the offensive line. A lot of our route concepts, we'll go concept side, like we'll have a zone beater, and then we'll have a man beater. So once again, we're teaching those guys read the middle of the field,
Mm.
like understand what they're giving us. Our film prep, especially like postseason, we were dialed, man. Like we go down there versus 2 seed Stratford, we gave them everything they wanted, and then some. Like
Mhm.
and then we lose on the Hail Mary. It is what it is. Like, their athletes made plays when they needed to, and they beat us. But to see a freshman quarterback go in there and operate at that
Yeah.
high level
Mhm.
on the road in the postseason, like it makes you get excited for the future
Mhm.
of River Bluff football for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
and I think, from a defensive standpoint, we talk about the trigger man, like the Mike linebacker has a lot on his plate,
no doubt.
and we've talked about I've said it before, I think corner's the toughest job physically, but I think the Mike's job or linebacker's jobs is the tough overall. Man, you
Hmm.
got to be dialed in the run fit in the pass, and so a lot of things we do, and I don't mind like sharing this open, like versus y'all. When we watched your scrimmage tape and saw the run schemes you like, I just told the Mike, I said, hey, I'm not telling anybody else this. If they go pistol, we're just going to try it. Go under front instead of over front. Let's just see what happens. I said,
Yep.
because if they run this run scheme, you should have a run through an A gap. But if they don't, we're still okay. We're not perfect like we want to be,
Yep.
but it's just like little things that you can communicate with your Mike that nobody else needs to know. Me and him are the only people because
Yep.
like my other backers, they fit based off techniques they have, where the D
Hmm.
lineman's at, stuff like that. But it's like, and when you look at it, I really like the opposite stuff. So I know Jamie, for example, we have the ability when I was coaching offense with Jamie, you can run any run play with same side mesh or
Yep.
opposite mesh. And like
Yep.
that alone, all tendencies are gone. It's like,
Yep.
it's,
Yep.
it's done.
And really just to speak about audibles, the only audibles that we did were probably some of the most complex for our quarterback because the only audibles we did were pass protection audibles. So he
Yeah.
would go in and have several checks. We
Yep.
would always I'm never going to put their best guy, on an island, give him an
No.
island.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
always either going to slide to him on our slide side or we're going to chip. And so,
Yep.
or if we're getting a lot of exterior, external pressure or exterior blitzes, especially dual exterior out of an odd front, we're going to check to our big on big. I
Yep.
think for that young kid to do that, I think just listening to you talk about like if he can understand the front to the point where he's checking protections, then it probably is possible for that kid to go in there and have a game plan on what best runs to run.
Absolutely.
And so
Absolutely.
even from a run perspective, even if we don't have to worry about the pass stuff, like the pass stuff
Hmm.
should take care of itself typically. But for the run stuff, man, that really could be good because we already have that built in,
Yeah.
language
Man,
and communication protocol for our O line.
when I was
Yeah.
in high school, we had wristbands. And like the quarterbacks, his wristband was where to call the run. So for example,
Mhm.
we like if we called power, I think Panama in high school.
Mhm.
So the quarterback's letting everybody know, hey, Panama, Panama. And he's finding the defensive line technique that we want to run it that week against. And then
Yeah.
he calls out the color or the direction, the Roger, the
Mhm.
loop, whatever it is. And like it's so funny because like, I forgot about that until y'all just brought this up. But it's like, hey, the quarterback knows, hey, if we want to run zone to the 3 or we want to run duo to the 3 or to the shade
Yeah.
side, it's real easy for him to say, hey, stand right here. Okay, we're running to the right. It's same side mesh, or hey,
Yeah.
you got to go across now. So man, there's so many ways you can do it. And I
I
forgot
No
think
about
that
doubt.
that until just
Malzahn
now.
started doing that. I think
Mm,
that's why he went with red, red, and black, black as far as
Yep.
the cadence, because I think he would call power. And I think at the line of scrimmage, that at times, I'm not sure if they all did it, but I could see them going black, black, and going left, or red, red, and going right. I think that could be the case too. We did it in triple option offense too.
Whatever makes it simple, like you said, like same thing you talked about your mic, like you gave him that one tidbit and he's playing fast. Like he's not thinking. Like you eliminated like him playing slow. And like Rock Hill, you guys gonna have good athletes.
Yep.
But you take a great athlete and you give him a binder of BS, and now you just turn that great athlete into an average player because he's thinking. Like that's how people ask all the time, like, how did you do this at Ridgeview? Like we have really good athletes. My job is to make it as simple as possible. And we played off basketball team having success, winning state titles. And like you look at my offense at Ridgeview, like we were open, like 3x1, 2x2, like all night long. We had two formations. Like you talking about easy to prepare for, but I tell you what, we're cutting people's butts because like I mean it was simple. Like our guys could like you could try to stop us, but we just got better players.
Yeah, when you got great players, don't overcoach them. I mean,
No
that's
doubt.
one thing. Like we have some really good wide receivers, and I'm not going to go out there and really get on them a whole lot about the little things that they do. Just keep making plays, man. Like don't overcoach them. Give them tools. You know, hey,
And the
let's work this toolbox. But like, I'm not
I
going to
think
tell you
it
what
helps
tool to use
them.
every time.
What's like it helps them gain confidence too. So like at halftime, like I said, hey man, how do you feel when we set the front different in pistol? He said, man, I feel it's great, coach. It's been working. I said, okay, you have the ability to set the front the way you want now.
Yeah.
And like he just looked at me. I was like, man, I said, you got it. I said, whether we're going setting it strong, setting it weak, I said, you're doing your job. Like you shown that. You call the front, whatever you feel. I said, we're going to be okay either way.
Yeah.
I said, if I need to change it back, I will. And then so then it gives him a sense of, dude, like because
At ownership.
He doesn't really know it, but it's like our front rules are per families, per personnels, per this.
Yeah.
So it's like when he's going to get the ability to do that, I know when it is. You know what I'm saying? But like to him, it's like, man, I get to call the front. Well, it's like,
calling the front.
Yeah, well, in two back, 20 person, 11 person. Yeah, man, you get to call the front because we're okay either way. But he knows when we hit trips open, we have front rules. When we hit or coverage call, we have front rules. So it's like,
no doubt.
But it made him think, dang, dude, coach is letting me call it.
No doubt.
You know, so that
and
was fun,
that means something to that kid, man.
It does.
It really does.
Coach, let's talk a little bit about staff structure. Okay, so like taking the job at River Bluff, you know, coming from college, how have you taken, you know, the way to delegate all those things that you learned at that level and implemented them in your program in high school?
Yeah, so the main thing you want to make sure that you empower your coaches to do a good job. If I can say anything about it, first off, it's hard. It's so hard on the high school level to be able to hire a full staff, have bodies in the building, and then also, you know, got guys out there coaching ball and not with their hands in their pockets or hats on backwards out there just like, look at me, I'm out here coaching football. Like that's probably one of the biggest like icks or pet peeves for me because like I know what it's supposed to look like. And my biggest thing for me, like when I took this job is like I want to be able to develop, you know, the Zeb Richies of the world, like the next generation of good coach, the Patrick Coombs, like Sam Hayes, like Noah Johnson. I got a ton, like Travis Palmer. I talked to my defense coordinator. I got a ton of young guys that want opportunities to lead programs. So, hey guys, here are the pitfalls that I fell into as a young coach. Like here are some of the pitfalls I fell into when I was at Ridgeview and I thought like I was on top of the world. Like here's some of the stuff I've learned and here's some of the stuff that, you know, you need to look at. Like first thing, like don't just take it. Like, my first job I took, it was career suicide. I should have never gotten out of there. I was at Lakewood High School in Sumter. And like the way that I won and got out of there, like the good Lord was looking after me. But I remember like laughing with my wife about it. My first year there, won one game. Second year, I won 2 games. And I'm like calling coaches like, hey, please let me be an OC. Like this head coaching stuff sucks. And it's not that the job sucked. It's just I'm at a place that football is not important. There's no resources. And then, I mean, you look at the town of Sumter. I mean, I played at Sumter High School. Like, I mean, that's the breadwinner. It is what it is. So going back to answer your question, like I feel like it's on my shoulders to make sure to really show those guys like, hey, if you do this the right way, this is what can happen. You can't cut corners. You got to work. You got to be diligent when you're there. but you got to understand what your why is. And then you got to understand what level of ball you're coaching. I think a lot of high school coaches don't want to hear that because they think they're coaching in the SEC. And I just got out of, the baby SEC, the Sun Belt. And I just went through the same thing that they were nervous of when I got hired. Like, we fired our offensive coordinator, a guy that I love dearly, Travis Trickett, after the third game of the season. And offensively, we didn't get better at Coastal. We kind of got stagnant, had peaks, hit lows. So then at the end of the year, we knew they're bringing in a new offensive coordinator. So in college, I'm not married to the head coach. He's going to give a coordinator a chance to bring in his guys. And it was to a point where I played at Coastal, and I told him, hey, I'm not going to interview again for my job. That if he's got a guy to bring in, I get it. So when I got this job, it's kind of funny. The first thing I told the guys, I'm like, hey, man, this is high school football. Y'all chill out. If you want to coach football, you have a job here. Don't think I'm coming in here to fire guys. To me, it's not about that. If you get fired in high school football, you're a bad coach. And that's my opinion. I'm not knocking anybody that's been fired coaching high school football, but really, what are you doing? And then as a head coach, I put on that head coach, what did you do all year to get that guy better? Instead of the point to the end of the season, you got to fire this guy. What did you do? Did you just sit back and allow it? Because at the end of the day, I got to coach my coaches as well. So some of that stuff is just tone, what are you saying? I'm really big. Dusty, you could ask Zeb, how are we teaching it? Because you might have one way of teaching, how you want to play. You might want to play trap 20 to the field. That's the way you want to teach it. You have one way of teaching that. Well, you better have 2 or 3 ways to teach it. You better be able to draw it. You better be able to stick figure it. You got to be able to break it up. You have to be able to differentiate how you instruct the guys. We're a teacher too. And a lot of coaches they kind of get that misinterpreted. I'm a coach. No, you're a teacher. So I'm really big on my guys. What are we teaching in the meetings? I sit in on different meetings. And if I don't like the way something's being taught, I'll stay with that coach. Hey, we got to fix the way that this is coming across because you're getting frustrated. You're yelling, but I'm with the kids. It's not clear communication. So there's got to be a better way. So the first thing I go to any of my guys with, if we have some issue with football related stuff, is what's being taught. And what's really cool, one of the guys who was at Coastal, he didn't get retained. He's the assistant defensive line coach at Georgia. And they have the huddle focus cameras in every meeting room. So Coach Smart can pop in and watch what the linebackers are doing and what the quarterbacks, what's being taught. It's different. And when you're coming from that realm, my guys, you can see some of them but no, seriously, what are you teaching the guys? Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to show on Friday nights for us is the preparation, what you're teaching and what you're pouring into those guys. So for me, your tone, what you're teaching and your presence, you got to be a likable guy. You got to be, at the end of the day, you don't have to be their friends, but they got to respect you enough to want to listen and want to get better each day.
And that's important. I think that's a really important thing to think about as a leader of anything. So even as a coordinator or anybody that you're, especially if you're a coordinator or head coach, that you are directly in charge of coaches and people implementing your vision for the program, you got to be approachable, right? You got to be somebody that one is approachable, but then also people can be receptive to that feedback. And so, and be, respect that feedback. And I think listening to you talk, man, that leadership is why you guys have done a tremendous job this year and the growth that you guys have seen, because I'm sure your staff is unified. They know exactly what your vision is. You challenge them in ways that's not going to, put fear into them. It's no, man, we're just trying to figure out if there's a disconnect in the way that it translates on Friday. If he's not getting it, let's switch it up. And then coaches on that point, then it's in their court. If they don't want to do it, then that's on them.
No doubt. And it takes egos out. It's not
Correct.
about my ego, we're talking about little Jimmy right here and why he can't fit, wide zone.
Well,
That's what it's about.
15.
Well, Coach, it's just man, I've never worked with you. We've played against each other a couple of times. but listening to you talk through, the number one thing I heard was your problem solving skills.
Mhm.
How do you achieve the vision you want and how do you get there? What is your job as a head coach to make sure everybody's aligned? But the way you just described how you go about when things aren't the way they need to be. If
Yeah.
anyone in this episode doesn't hear anything but other than that was genius. What you said, it's listen, I got to address it. Show me and tell me what we're teaching, how we're teaching it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see why maybe he's not understanding it? Like, what's another way we can frame this or show him or walk through or film? And like, man, like I said, never coach would you coach, but just the way you walked us through
Yeah.
that just now, man, that's great stuff, man.
Well, I
Yeah.
do want to jump in real quick and just talk about like when you pop into meetings, I
Mhm.
think that should show that coach that he's being supported, right? Because now, like if I pop into like an offensive line meeting, I'll let the
Yeah.
offensive line guy, offensive line coach run it. If he's saying something that I'm like, I don't know if that's going to jive with Jimmy. Okay,
Mhm.
I might pull him to the side. Look, man, I told Jimmy that 3 weeks ago. He doesn't really get that. Let's
Yeah.
maybe try to come back in behind that. I just
Mhm.
think those are really, really critical things to get ahead of because the end goal is to everybody to produce and everybody to,
No
do
doubt.
what you want them to do. But
No
yeah,
doubt.
we can kind of move on from that. But man,
It's
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 excellent to
funny,
hear.
man. We can talk about those gems like so like my big thing when I get into these meetings, and it was Sean McVay. And I'll let Zeb show you Dustin. Like I wrote all his like anytime he opened his mouth, it was like biblical. I'm in there like I'm a mom. I'm just sitting here writing stuff down. Um, but the first thing he had, like we opened training camp up, he's like we're champions. We don't come in here without anything to write with. Like,
Mhm.
and I think about as a professional, as a player, and as a professional, like not pro, but as a professional adult, how many meetings I've been into with nothing to write with. But I want to lead by example, right? So like it starts with that, like
Yep.
with all of our guys, B team, JV. If we're in a meeting and you don't have it, and it ain't like, hey, buddy, like you should pay for my buddy, that don't
Mhm.
count. See me after practice. Like come in there ready to learn and ready to get better. That's where it starts with. And I tell him, I try like, hey, like everything, you don't have to be a scribe. I said, but he's gonna say one or two things in this meeting that's gonna help us win the game on Friday night. And you never know when I'm gonna pop in that meeting and I'm gonna say, hey, let me see what your note is. And I want you to have it starred, underlined or circle what's gonna win us the game. And like
Exactly.
just little stuff like that, man. Like, I mean, it goes a long way. It goes a lot further than what you think.
Yes.
And like for me, like it's all stuff that I've been a part of. Like my first night in LA at a 5 Diamond Resort in an NFL training camp with NFL films right here. Sean McVay. I'm sitting beside Aaron Donald, Cooper Cup, like pinch me. But the first thing he said was like something to write with. And luckily I had my iPad with a little pencil. And I'm like, oh, I'm good. Cause if not, like I'm in another meeting with nothing to write with, like just like that because I wasn't prepared. But I promise you, if I ever go into any other NFL facility or meeting, I'm gonna have a pad folio and pen like ready to go. Like just because you never know, man. Like any day could be a job interview for any one of us. So you got to be prepared for
Exactly.
that stuff.
Exactly. Well, Coach, I think it's time to kind of get into our last segment. We usually have a kind of a rapid fire
Mm-hmm.
segment, and we're gonna, kind of get into that. But man, it's been a great episode so far. A lot of great gems, man. So, Dustin, you take the first one, man.
All right, coach. So what do you think is one of the best college drills that you learned that you are bringing back to high school that you think everybody should incorporate?
Yeah, so we do. It's a variation of hook and noose. So for us, it's our mesh drill, and it's just really, really over intentional with your steps. Head over toes, chin over toes, and then really like once you still touch hands like it's elementary, for the sake of the drill. But then we have an indicator. Is it a zone drop or is it man? If it's indicator, it's man. We got to stay on the move.
Mhm.
If it's a zone drop, as soon as we slap hands, we're sticking and stopping, and we're giving the quarterback our numbers, and our hands are home, and we're ready to CTT, catch, tuck, turn. So, just fundamental football, like graduating to be a better team when teams try to play us man, because that's one of the things we saw is having mesh. But every time we ran it, we got zone, and our guys were able to stick and stop. And the ability to be able to produce yak after that, if you can really catch mesh in the zone and stick and stop, and then CTT turn up with no wasted yardage, is worth the drill. And that's a everyday pre-practice drill for us for sure.
Coaches, if you're still managing your strength program on spreadsheets, whiteboards, or 5 different apps, it's time to simplify with TeamBuilder. TeamBuilder is a performance-based training software built specifically for coaches. It allows you to plan, deliver, and track your strength conditioning program all in one place, whether you're training one athlete or an entire program. You can build workouts in seconds, auto progress loads, track attendance, monitor readiness, and communicate directly with your athletes, all from your phone, tablet, or laptop. And the best part, it scales. Whether you're a high school program, a college staff, or training multiple teams, TeamBuilder keeps everything organized and efficient. For us as coaches, time matters. TeamBuilder gives you more of it, less admin, less guessing, and more intentional training. If you want your strength program to look more professional, be more consistent, and actually drive results, TeamBuilder is the platform you need. Check out TeamBuilder and take out your strength program to the next level. You can use code CoachSpeak for a free 30-day trial.
It's funny, you talk about mesh. I think I just finished charting all of our film from this past year, and I separated all the families to see, like, I think there were like 8 meshes thrown on us all year, and like there were like 4 mesh rails. And one thing we try to teach our corners and man coverage is we mess stuff. So it's like man everything except shallow. And,
Shallow, yep.
And then sometimes it's meg where we don't care what it is, you got to go. And a lot of times in 2x2, we'll play mess because we see a lot more that can hurt us in mesh.
Yeah.
And there was 2 times our best corner, and I think his athletic ability probably helped more than the mess technique. But it's like there was 2 times, one in the playoffs versus Burns, where the guy runs a shallow and he doesn't take it and he picks the rail route for a pick 6. You know what I'm saying? It's like
he just feathered off. He's there.
Yep. And then there's like one time he tried to do too much. It's like 4th and 15 into the game versus Fort Mill, and he's sitting at 15 yards, and like they throw the rail route. Luckily, we stopped him, but no, that was just the mesh drill, man. My buddy Caleb talks about it all the time. You got to work it, man. You got to work it.
Did they have and this is just the offensive mind, and we can get back to rapid fire. So the way we run our rail mesh in the low red, all right, it's called net.
Yep.
All right, we're going to try to set a double wall. We got 2 guys. We got a high OTB. We got the mesh coming from the boundary. We're trying to set 2 walls on that mic for that reason. Now, our field shallow is if you play mesh, like in the back, he takes away the back. Like there's going to be nobody guarding that field shallow coming back.
Wall them off.
Yeah, coming back. Like
you talking about field to the boundary?
Field coming back to the boundary. Yeah.
What, do y'all go rail that mesh to OTB? Is that how you read it?
Well, we read it. Yeah, we read it like if it's man, we know it's man with our indicator, with our buzz motion. Or we'll start them in FIB trips and like bring the guy over to get that indicator. Yep. So we read it. We're eyes to the mesh. We're throwing the rail.
Yep.
We eyes come to that rail and we see that corner. Somebody's feathered off. There's going to be nobody guarding like the high mesh coming back across.
Yes.
So like we'll hold it and then we'll throw a damn low BB to that crosser.
Yeah.
And we've scored on that one. Like we scored on the rail mesh maybe 3 times this year, and then when teams took it away.
You hit us on one. Y'all went fib, buzzed y'all's number 3, the really good kid, buzzed him to the slot to the field.
Darius.
And hit like I don't know if it was a bender route or what it was, but we got no reroute from the nickel, and we closed late and match quarters, and I mean that kid's really good. You know what I mean?
He's a good player.
It was awesome the way y'all started in fib, you buzzed him to the slot, and man, we get off on a rabbit hole. We keep going. All right, Jamie.
Yeah, Coach. So we wanted to get to this earlier. We kind of we're talking about this, but we could talk longer, more than just rapid fire. But what's one of the biggest mistakes that like high school coaches make when it comes to helping their kids get recruited? I mean, you've been in the college game. Like, I know we can go down a rabbit hole, but I'm really interested to see your perspective on this to help us try to do the best we can for our players.
So like the game has completely changed from what we all know what it is, and you still got high school coaches calling college coaches or talking to college coaches, telling them like, this kid is a no-brainer, or like, I don't know what you guys are doing. Like we have GMs involved in high school football and in college football now. So like, there's nothing you can say like Perry Parks, a recruiter at Charlotte or Coastal. I can love your kid. I can take all the information back. I can stand on the table and I can sell of why this kid can help us. But now, if that doesn't align with what the GM's vision for the football team is moving forward, it doesn't matter. So what we've got to do a better job of like now with it's like, and like I told our kids and our parents, like we're pushing D2, we're pushing FCS, and we're pushing JUCOs.
Mhm.
And the reason why we're pushing those is they're still recruiting without a what? Without a GM.
GM.
So now the coaches are actually doing the work. So now you're not wasting your time, because I've heard it, man. And like my last year at Coastal, we're recruiting knowing we just hired a GM. Like I'm wasting my time recruiting. Like, because at the end of the day, I can give you all these names, but if it's not what's your ideal slot receiver, like that's the GM's job. Like that's his job. Like that's not my job anymore. You see what I'm saying? So high school coaches got to understand that colleges are now taking this out of the realm of true recruiting, if that makes sense, on the G5 level and the P4 level for sure.
It's like, it's free agency more than anything. It's the NFL model, that's why
No
Nick
doubt.
Saban got out of the NFL. He doesn't have control over his roster anymore, and so now that's happening in G5 and all, everybody except for maybe FCS and Division II and JUCO and D3. That's more of a traditional model, would you say,
Yeah.
Coach?
Yeah.
Because now that coach has to go put his face in the building. He's gotta go recruit the high school kid,
Hmm.
and what you're saying is you tell parents up front, "This is how it is. We're gonna push
Yeah.
Division II
That's what
and
we're doing.
FCS and JUCO to get your kid the best opportunity." And
And guess what? If he
has that
goes
been a
and
hard
plays
sell?
well, he goes and plays well, he can get paid. And guess
Yep,
what? Like the parents that don't want to hear it, how many recruiting meetings have you sat in on the college level? I've sat in my fair share of it.
yep,
So like I know what's happening. Like any one of Darius Carter is a really good player for us. Like he's a really good player for us. He has some of the G5s and some of the P4s sniffing around right now, like, which is great. The exception of Darius Carter, the rest of my kids right now, like they're not getting any of that attention. They're getting attention from the D2s, the guys that
mhm,
I know that are coaching that ball, the guys that are FCS guys, and they can go there and play well, and now they can get paid to transfer up. And
yep,
now guess what? Like in the adverse of that, like say Darius does go to a school and he struggles a little bit. Now he doesn't have film, and now he's got to get in the portal for whatever reason. Now it's going to be a harder sell for this kid to find a home. Like it's tough, man. It's tough
Yeah.
sledding, and for me, like my parent meetings, I just try to let them know, like, hey, this is the information that I know. This is what they're looking for. This is how we're going to help. Like, we have a plan of how we're going to help our kids get recruited, but at the end of the day, like, it's still not a science. It's got to match up, and you got to have a good feel for it, because the adverse of that, the last head coach I worked for at Coastal made me drop 3 high school kids.
mhm,
Like, and like that's bad. Like for me, like being a high school coach again, like that's bad, because it's already hard enough to get to the finish line per se, and now you're 3 weeks out. And we're like, hey, we're not gonna sign this kid right now, and I got to make that phone call.
mm,
Like, so it's tough, man. I know everybody thinks it's D1 or bust, but that's the first thing you got to get that out of your head, because if you want to play college football, like, and you're really a guy that wants to play, like my job, I'm gonna find you somewhere to play, because those are the guys that are gonna have success, because they're not worried about what it looks like. It's one opportunity. Like
exactly.
how many of us that first college like job or first high school job, like we just want an opportunity, we just want to coach. Like that's the same thing for kids trying to get to college. Like a kid that really doesn't care what the logo is and they just want to play ball, that kid will go far for sure.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, I think just thinking about a lot of those, scenarios, we had a kid last year, at Kings Mountain that was probably a Division I grade, but ended up going to Wing It,
Mhm.
and he bet on himself. The dude was like an All-American. Now he's transferred up to like Furman or something. He's
Yep.
he's a freak, man. He might be an NFL guy. Like
Yeah.
he might have a chance. Like he's that good, but he didn't get bitter because South Carolina didn't want. He didn't want to walk on, at South
Yeah.
Carolina or one of the Carolina schools. But it's just a different world, man. It is a
Mhm.
completely different world. But I love the strategy of just telling those parents like we're gonna push D2. I
Yeah.
think that's
And there's
smart.
nothing there's
Smart.
nothing wrong with that. And there's really good
Mm-mm.
programs.
Mhm.
And like I said, I know so many guys like across the United States now. So
Yeah.
like I mean there's fits, and they got money. Like some of these schools got money and they got better facilities than some of the G5s. Like
Mhm.
Yeah,
Got to go where you want it, man. At the end of the day.
exactly.
And I think it's, parents are parents. They're great. They're good. They're tough sometimes, but you having that validity of I've been there. Like,
Yeah.
like you don't have to believe me, but like you're like I've been there. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely got to help the sale too, Coach. That's
No
awesome.
doubt.
Last one I got, Coach. What do you think high school coaches overcomplicate?
The misconception that we have as coaches, number one, like we don't have to know it all.
Mm.
Like I thought I knew it all. Like I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't. Like I'm still learning stuff. Like and we don't have to be afraid to ask for help.
Mm-hmm.
Like go places. Like people always ask me, like, well, how do you know so many people? Like Brian Bratton, the assistant receivers coach for the Colts, one of my buddies. Like worked his football camp, known him for a long time. Like he's a great dude. Like we talk ball, we talk shop, talk life, talk family. Like he's got a similar family kids ages of mine. Like at the end of the day, like the more that we don't know and the more we lean out and like build these true relationships with each other and like extend our network, the better off we'll be. Like a lot of people that didn't know me, I got a bad rap. Like I don't even know you. Like I'll take my shirt off and give it to anybody. People that really know me, people that are inside my camp. But like, I really stopped caring what people thought about me and just start investing in people around me.
Yeah.
And to answer your question, like just the pride aspect of being a high school coach. You like we're always chasing like a bigger, better opportunity, or I'm the head coach here. I did this, I did that. Like without a good staff and good players, we didn't do anything. So like it's just kind of like just changing the way like I wired myself. You can still have a good social media presence and have a little bit of confidence and swag about yourself for sure. Because I definitely have that. I want my players to have it. I want my coaches to have it. But being humble enough to know if you need help or you want to talk to somebody about something or just better yourself, like don't be afraid to better yourself. Like I'm trying to find ways to get to Tampa Bay and hang out with BMAC and that receiver room he's got is special down there. So just trying to always find ways to get better as a coach. It's something that a lot of coaches on the high school level, I'm the coordinator at Rock Hill. I made it. Like you can be the next head coach at Rock. Like you never know.
Yeah.
Like
And it's well said. And I think that perspective is really good to hear from someone that has had so much success from the outside, just watching your career.
Yes.
And just kind of like, I'm a few years behind you and just watching you do your thing. And like, just hearing that perspective helps guys like us, man, because,
no doubt.
There's always a balance of like, okay, why am I doing high school football? And then like, what's maybe next? And like, and I just need to be where my feet are. And I think me and Dustin started this whole thing, and I feel dumber every episode because we talk to people that know like way more about stuff than we do. Like, and that's why we have you guys on, man. But just to hear you say that, people that are listening, that'll mean more to them than a lot of things that have been said on this podcast before.
No doubt.
Because I think you've kind of been there and you've kind of seen it. And I guess just the last part of this rapid fire piece is, what's your favorite part of being back in South Carolina and like in high school football?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, like this is the one I try to get doggone emotional, but I've seen my kids, my two boys, like fall in love and be around football more than I've ever like that's like if not anything else, like and I've had people call and ask for different opportunities, and right now, like I promise you, like I'm good with seeing them come to practice every day and pick up a football and start throwing it. Like just stuff like that. And then like Friday nights, like there's nothing like it. Like especially playing your guys' place. Mom's a Bearcat class 74, 75.
All right.
74, 75. My mom's a Bearcat. My sister's she's a Trojan. So like just going to those cities like Rock Hill, like going down to the Low Country. I grew up, knowing about, Stratford, and those programs. And, there's nothing like being able to prepare a group of kids for a Friday night game, knowing that the lasting impacts are those memories. And what kind of really pushed me back to high school, I got selected last year my last year coaching for the NCAA NFL leadership conference here in Indianapolis. Like,
Oh, cool.
told my wife some of the spots we went to last year, and I heard Tony Dungy speak. He was the headliner for that conference. The NFL had him speak to us, and man, he was awesome. He's like, the one coach that changed my life was my high school coach. I've had a lot of good coaches. He's like, but I learned more and I carried more throughout my life from, and as soon as he said that, like, I could start just naming countless high school guys that I still talk to this day that, hey, coach, I appreciate you. I appreciate it. And like, my college guys are great. Like, had a guy get drafted to the NFL, Grant DeBose, I talk to him all the time. Great. But there's something about those troubled kids when they reach out to you, man. Coach, man, I appreciate you, man. You saved my life. You know, like,
Wow.
I mean, I coached DeAndre Cisse. His brother just got a first-round draft grade, and he's like, hey, I played football at Lakewood because you made it cool to be like, to play football there. Like I appreciate you, man. He was a ball boy for us. So like, hearing stories like that, I didn't even coach Brandon. Like, so just hearing stories like that, you're like, golly, like, you are making an impact. Like, you might not hear it all the time, but like, so yeah, the impact of my family situation, my wife and kids, and then, the others, my adopted kids per se. That's special about being back for sure.
Man, that's
said,
awesome, Coach. That's
Yep.
that's awesome. It's funny because, like, just sum up the whole rapid fire. Me and Jamie look at each other every year and go,
Yep.
Did I know anything last year?" Like we feel dumber every year. Like, I think we're slowly getting better, but like, we just feel, and it's like the pride and ego thing kind of leads into the last part you said of impacting kids. Like,
Yeah.
you can't allow your personal ego pride, or you want your name to be called for all the success or anything. It's like, dude, at the end of the day, we all want to win. Like, I don't care who it is. And like, Jamie was the OC this year, I was the DC. And if I had questions, I would go ask him, hey man, what do you think about this? I know you coach offense. I know you have all your other worries, but like, I would bounce stuff off him. Then I'd go to our DB guy, Ron Parker. Hey man, what do you think? Because he played in the league and he's played corner and nickel and safety and everything. And like, I'd ask him, but like, I'm the first to tell y'all, and it's the extreme ownership thing. We watch film. Hey guys, this is a bad call by me. Like, we got gassed because I called this call. They checked the speed option, and we ain't in zero. We ain't got nobody for that guy. Like, that's on me, dudes. So, but I think everything you've said loops into, you're impacting kids. Don't let your pride and ego get in the way. What is the best way you can continue to impact kids? Reaching out, learning from others. And like Jamie said, that's why we do this.
Which, man, that's awesome. What a great episode. This is our last episode, I think, of the year. So, Coach, man, we really appreciate your time. I know you're out of
appreciate
town.
you guys, man. No
Hopefully
doubt.
we can get up maybe at one of these clinics and get to shake your hand again and
Anytime, man. I got it. Like, I actually show y'all right here. I keep this with me at all times because I never know when I'm gonna be around something. So this is my Rams. It's my Sean McVay, like, Bible per se, from training camp with the Rams. But I mean, y'all can't see. I mean, it's not gonna do it justice, man. But like, it's like every page. Like, I went back here to like a big stack of pages. Like, it's every page of just detail, like situational
awesome.
ball, like
that is awesome.
Anything that he said. So like, especially when I get around guys like, how Zed, like, I get around Zed, man, he's ready to get some snacks and like get in the notebook and just start talking about stuff. But it's just cool, man, because for us as high school coaches, the first thing we want is validation. Like, I'm doing it the right way. And I tell all of us, like, South Carolina, like, our brand of football has got so much better. We're doing it the right way. It's just keep going. Like, don't be limited, stuck in your box. Like, push it. Like, no, Dustin, I'm on Zeb every day. Like, are you being the best version of yourself right now, Zeb? Because I think you got a little bit that you can do with no family, and you love ball. You're smart enough. Like push each other, man. Like, because. Man, like, our mind is so powerful. We can do some great things if we just apply ourselves, man. But you got to have a good support system for sure.
Yes, sir. Well said. Well, Coach, we appreciate you being on. And
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Guys at home, we will see you guys on this one. Then the first one in the new year will be coming shortly.
Appreciate you guys, man. Happy New Year to you guys.
Thanks, Coach. You too.
Yeah. Take care.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, don't forget to use the promo code CoachSpeak with our awesome partners, Ray Crowther, Team Builder Practice, R4 Football Systems Pro Quick Draw, Dome Headwear, and Optimum Grading. Catch you guys in the next one.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning into the Coach Speak podcast. If you're interested in being a guest speaker on the show, we'd love to hear from you. Email us at coachspeakpodcast1@gmail.com. And if you have a question for our Q&A segment, don't forget to submit it through the form in the episode description. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode.